All right. Hello and welcome everybody to the Red Bra Project. We are so excited to be with you here tonight. We're here at episode number 55. So we've got an incredible guest we're going to introduce you to. She's going to share her incredible story, and it is just full of strength and beauty and grace. But we are going to let her share that. And before we get started, I want to say hi to my beautiful co-host tonight. How you doing, Shauna?
I am good. I'm not feeling so beautiful in this quarantine, but thank you. You're sweet. And I'm loving those flowers next to you. That's very, seasonal and happy in these times.
I know. Thank you. I took down my party balls. I've put them in my she shed space. And now I had to go with flowers, and they smell amazing. So yeah, you got to do little things count, right?
They definitely do. And it's very beautiful. And so do you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you introduce our guest. What a story of resiliency and hope that we're going to hear tonight. So
Yes. And so without further ado, we'd like to introduce the amazing and talented Heather Carr. So she's going to share with us a little bit about where she's coming to from tonight and a little bit about her story. Heather, welcome to the Red Bra Project.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on, ladies. This is very exciting for me. Like you said, my name is Heather Carr. I am a mom of 3, and I'm also the maker behind Sweet and Wild Farms candles. We have been in business since 2015 or 2016. It was born out of a huge life-changing event, and we found some hope and strength in starting this business, and we just relaunched and rebranded again earlier this month, and it has been just such an incredible journey.
I love it. That is so awesome. So I know that you're a couple time zones behind us tonight. So you're coming to us this evening from Arizona, correct?
Yes, we live right on the border. We live in southern Arizona, so it's sunny and hot still right now. We were in the high 90s today. So we've been hanging out poolside while we've been quarantined and getting a little sunburned actually, but I'm doing okay. But yeah, we're down here. We're originally from Washington State. We moved down here at the beginning of the year in 2018 from my husband's job. He is a law enforcement officer. So we got a job down here, and making the change from the Northwest. I mean, I'm Northwest through and through. That's where I grew up. I love the ocean and the pine trees and the hiking and the kayaking. And so moving down here was a complete culture shock, to say the least. But I have just grown to absolutely love the high desert. We're not like, I think Arizona and I think of like Phoenix, right? Where it's like 105 degrees in the morning. But we're up in the mountains. So we have just the most amazing mountains, and it cools off in the evening, and just the wildlife and the beautiful cacti and everything. We love it here. So it's great.
That's so awesome. And tonight is going to be about you, but you mentioned your husband is in law enforcement. So he must be, I'm assuming, a first responder right now during all of this. And how has that been for all of you?
It has been very scary and intense, a very time consuming. All of his gear every day, we have him entering. We're a 2-story house, and our bottom story is a basement. So he goes around through the basement, strips down, puts everything in the laundry, and I have spray sanitizer that I spray on everything, and he showers off before we even get to say hello. And there was a time where last month he wasn't feeling well. So he was actually quarantined to his bedroom for 2 weeks. Couldn't touch us, couldn't see us. So, I mean, I still brought him food, but that was about it. From far away. Right, 6 feet. But so it has been intense. He is out there, helping others, and that is what our family is about. If we can help someone, we absolutely will do it. So it is a sacrifice that we all 100% are on board with. we celebrate him and all that he's doing, even though it's hard on all of us. I mean, he's working very long hours, and we just want to squeeze him when he gets home. But, you know, we take the extra time because it's worth it to us.
Absolutely. I can't even imagine what that's like. One, just not having him always be there, but I mean, you're managing 3 children pretty much on your own then right now, especially a 2-week quarantine that he took on.
Yes, there were a lot of tears from all of us, but that's okay, right? I mean, those feelings are valid and we gotta let it out.
Yeah, well, for sure. You got to release it. And sometimes, you know, it's in forms of tears, and other times it's other ways. And, you know, thank you so much to your husband and the families that are going through all of the extra time, love, and care to take care of everyone else and your own families and everything. And so we really, really appreciate it. So, yeah. That's pretty amazing. And you guys, I mean, I know that it's such a huge contrast coming from the Pacific Northwest to Arizona. Both are beautiful parts of the country in their own way and things. Talk to us a little bit, because Sweet and Wild Farms actually started in Washington State, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll tell you our story. So when we were in Washington State, we bought our first home. It was on the Nisqually River. We had 5 acres. It was our absolute goal to have our own homestead farm. So we had goats. We had about 25 chickens. While my husband was deployed to Afghanistan, I built the most amazing garden. It was the raised beds and this beautiful red screen door to go inside the garden, and it was very, like, just absolutely magical property. And
Sounds
so
like it was out of a book.
It felt like it was out of a book. I mean, you couldn't even see it from the road. You wind down, and there it was, nestled among the trees. And then we had about 300 feet of land off our back porch to the river. And so it was, I mean, morning coffees on the back porch watching the river, and we would have, you know, herd of elk. I think the biggest one, we counted 85 elk walking up the river from our property. So it was beautiful.
85?
Yes, it was incredible.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was very much our heart and soul in this property. I mean, we searched for a long time and found it. And we had the ball rolling. We were remodeling it. We had ripped out the stairs. We had done all this stuff. And anyways, we had our first daughter. She was 1.5 years by the time that my husband got back from Afghanistan when he was deployed. Shortly after he got home, we got pregnant with our second daughter, Audrey. And then when she was 1 year old, it was the December of 2015, right before Christmas. We had just bought our Christmas tree. Well, we didn't buy it. We chopped it down up in the mountains. We brought it home. We had just decorated it the night before, and it was incredibly stormy. Just an unbelievable winter storm. Northwest true and true, right? Just
Yeah.
gobs of rain. And we had a few storms. You know, the river moved back and forth a little bit, but nothing huge. Because upriver from us, there was a dam owned by Tacoma Power. And so it was a very, very prevalent dam in the community. And so, you know, it very much helped control the flow of the river. So we felt very safe there. And that night, they had mismanaged the dam unbeknownst to us, and it was cresting. So it was cresting the top of the dam. And in the night, without even notifying us or any other people, they released the floodgates fully. And so overnight, the river changed from moving away from our home, and it cut a brand new path right up to our deck. So when we woke up that morning, the river was at our door, and we ran out of the house. It was I mean, just thinking about it right now, I can't even tell you the emotions I felt as a mother of, a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. There's no coming back from that. And I mean, you can't help but know it. Just giant trees were coming down, and you could hear just the cracking and the splashing, these huge new rapids, like right under our deck. It was absolutely terrifying. It was, I mean, you could see the mudslides upriver, and I fell to my knees. It was incredibly terrifying waking up to that. Yeah.
I can't even imagine what that must have felt like, and all the thoughts that had running what's next. Also, just wanting to feel everything that you're feeling as a human.
Right. Yeah, we honestly didn't know who to turn to, right? Just like, what do you do in that situation? And so we decided to call the county and just say, we are in danger. This happened. And so they immediately sent out an officer that was a land surveyor, and he was the nicest guy, a father also of young kids, and he had tears in his eyes, and he was like, I can't let you go back inside. You can't live here. Going to sleep, we decorated our Christmas tree, we're getting ready, and then waking up to having someone say, you can't go back inside your house. It was forever life-changing for us. And as devastating as that sounds, that was kind of the tear in our muscle, right? When you work out, your muscles tear, but when they come back together, they're stronger. And that was the biggest tear that we've ever experienced. But boy, have we gotten stronger, and our lives have blossomed from it. So he actually, he let us go back in, right? I'll never forget, it was a black Adidas duffel bag, and I filled it with diapers and onesies and my kids' favorite toys, and, a couple pairs of clothes for me. And he said that, I'll let you come back tomorrow, and you can have a couple people help you get your most important things, but you're going to have to find a place to stay tonight. You can't be in here. I'll allow it for like an hour, right? So, I mean, we were homeless, and by the grace of God, we had a friend that lived up the street, and she welcomed us with open arms, let us stay in her upstairs. Welcoming 2 young kids and a husband and a wife was not easy, but she didn't even blink an eye. She came down, and we stayed with her for about 2 months, actually, until we could get back on our feet.
Oh, Heather, thank you so much for sharing that incredible story with us. And to put it into perspective, you went to bed, one night after you decorated the Christmas tree, and then you woke up the next day, and that's how quickly things can change. But wow, to hear you tell the story and to do it with such, now we're here, and the analogy about a torn muscle, that just gives so much hope to anybody struggling and going through a really tough time, and especially right now. So sorry that that horrible, thing has happened to your family, but my goodness, you guys seem like you've really come out of it just strong.
Yeah. And, we it's amazing to see what it's done to our kids. Even my 1-year-old, she, that was traumatic for her too. So we talk about it all the time, and something we always say is, it's just stuff. It's just stuff, because we've experienced losing it all. And you know what? We got it all back, nothing, we're okay. We're healthy. And the thing that changed me most out of that is experiencing such loss, surprise loss, right? That you're not expecting, but then having total strangers reach out and love on you and not ask questions. There were still some things. So our story actually went national. Our neighbor called the news, and we had news interviews up the ears, because, you know, all the political part of, you know, mismanaging the dam and all that. Anyway, I mean, we could talk about that. That's more boring. But through all that, the generosity that we received, you know, that man that I talked about that came out and cried and said, as a father, I can't say that it's safe for you and your kids to go back in there. You have to find somewhere else. He was so broken for us. He took our picture before we left. He just said, can I take your picture? And I was like, what? Why would you want, you know, like, why are you taking my picture? And he's like, I just need it. Can I get a picture of you and your kids? And so we agreed. We, you know, figured it was for documentation purposes. Well, he started a GoFundMe for us. And through that GoFundMe, we were able to start fresh. You know, we lost everything. We were young, you know, new.
We're still young.
Right? Yeah. Oh yeah. Still learning too. But we were not super financially stable. We didn't have a huge nest egg. We were living paycheck to paycheck. So to lose everything like that, you know, it's expensive to come up with rent and, you know, moving expenses and all that. So because of his just heart for us, total strangers all across the country, because our story went nationwide, just completely paved the way for us to restart. And that is something that I didn't even know was missing in my own life. You know, I love others, and I'm very much the glass is half full kind of person, but on a deeper level of seeing needs, you know, seeing that new mom and being like, you know what, instead of just saying like your baby's cute, I'm going to bring her a meal because I know what it's like. Or that homeless person on the side of the road, it's going to take me 5 minutes to go drive through and get them a hot coffee and a sandwich. I'm going to do that because I don't know their story, and nobody judged me for, you know, being homeless, because I was. And so it's just completely changed our whole family's outlook. Even my kids, they'll see, you know, homeless people on the side of the road. Mom, can we go drive through and get a cheeseburger? Yes, we can. Absolutely. You know, it's that kind of stuff that keeps people going, and knowing that you're not alone and that you have hope because somebody else is going to put their hand out and say, like, let me help you up a little bit. That is what it's all about. All the other stuff is just going to end up in a landfill somewhere anyway.
It is so true. It is so true. And gosh, what a beautiful foundation. I mean, for your kids and for your marriage and you, and just beautiful story. And I mean, onward and upward. I think that is definitely, you know, that's one heck of a saying for that story.
Yeah.
So you went from Washington. Did you guys kind of establish your roots there initially?
Yeah, so we're from Washington. That's where it all started. And but we when we lost our home, we stayed in Washington for about a year and a half. During that time, I mean, I can look back and smile now, but I had some dark days. There were some heavy, just cry in the fetal position. What are we doing? You know, we had to find a rental, and it was just a junky place that we did not want to be at. It had nothing to do with our vision of a homestead. And we had worked so hard, and that is where the candles come in. It was just, we had moved into this little house, and I remember I was just in the shower and I was just bawling my eyes out. It was before my kids woke up, and I was just like, what am I doing? What are we doing here? You know, the stress of everything, you know, after also my husband coming home from Afghanistan, and that had its own set of struggles, right? I had just raised our first baby for a year without him. He struggled with PTSD. He was involved. It was a very active time when he was over there. We both changed as people, and our marriage was already a little bit on the rocks before all this happened. And so, but it's funny how all of it happened, and all of a sudden our blinders are not set on one another. You know, you step back and look at the big picture, and we clung to each other. And through that, you know, we really worked through a lot of things. And as weird as it sounds, a huge part of our marriage being saved and being at the beautiful place that it is now is through this horrific thing that happened to us, because we chose to love one another and, you know, be there for each other. So, but that morning I was just crying in the shower, and I was just like, God, you've really screwed me over. You know, I'm a good Christian girl, and I've gotten screwed, you know, and I was mad and sad, and I hated where we lived, and it was just hard. And out of nowhere came this idea to start making candles under the name of Sweet and Wild Farms, because that was our dream, right? And I just thought, that's the weirdest thing. I've never made a candle in my life. I don't know how that has anything to do with farming or a homestead, but it just got in my head and it wouldn't leave. And it just kind of consumed me, like candles. I started looking at like how to make them. And I talked to my husband, and I was like, I kind of feel like maybe I should start making candles. And he was so on board. He was like, yes, that could be, you know, how we start this again. Like, go for it. He just pushed me into it. He helped me find a class to take. So I went and I took a class on making candles, and I made myself a little small batch. And sure enough, I made those, and I just posted a picture on Facebook. Hey, I made these candles. I might put them up for sale on Etsy. And before I could even list them, they were all gone from people that had wanted them. You know, people that love us and wanted to support us. They know what we've been through. But the great thing was, after they got them, everybody loved them and kept asking me to make them. And so we went from that doing, you know, I would make like 1 pound at a time on the stovetop, you know, in a double broiler. And we went from that to fast forward now. And I poured 88 candles yesterday on my own in my huge melter that melts 50 pounds of wax at a time in my studio in our amazing home in Arizona that we are still just in awe about. So it's really, really awesome. I love my candles. I love what I get to do with sharing, you know, the literal and metaphorical light and hope all around. Since we've relaunched, I mean, I've shipped to all over the United States. And yeah, it's been more incredible than I can imagine as far as what Sweet and Wild Farms meant to us in the beginning to what it is now. It was not at all our idea or what we wanted. It is so much better. And yeah, so we're super happy with where we're at now.
I just want to be like, if I scream too loud, all of our audio is going to go crazy, but that is so awesome. And I mean, and the light comes back on. Obviously there's technical difficulties happening, but I
don't know if you can even see me. I haven't been on the screen here forever, so
we had you the whole time.
Okay.
But what a like moment to say that you guys have lived so much life in just under 5 years. I mean, you can't make this up. I mean, this is your story. And I mean, to just go from hearing how you started making your candles to your own studio and how you guys got there, and the light, shining the light. I mean, the dots, everything is so connected.
Absolutely.
I just think, I mean, I'm in awe of you for so many reasons, but you're just the representation of resiliency, and you're just so authentic too, because you don't hide that there were dark days for you and that you were angry. And I think those are emotions that a lot of people feel, and you are living proof that you can push past that and good things can still follow. And so I'm just so grateful that we found you and are sharing your story, and more people are going to get to know you. And, you know, hopefully this grows even more for your business. I'm just inspired too by, like, you were like, I'm going to make candles, and your husband's like, yeah, that's great. And now look at it.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing when you allow yourself to step outside of, what you're going through. And, I tell my girls a lot, the difference between a good day and a bad day is your attitude. And if you can find the good and move on and better yourself and better others, then life is going to be fantastic. I mean, even if it's hard, it's going to be fantastic because you're growing and you're moving and changing. And yes, I mean, even with right now with COVID-19 and quarantining and everything, everybody has to adjust. And that's okay. Adjusting is fine. Maybe you need to exercise more during the day to have that feeling of happiness. And that's okay. You just find what's best for you. And that making can't, right? I need to more. I feel like I have just been homeschooling and making candles. Like that's it. But
yes, everyone right now understands that homeschooling feeling that you
yeah,
you can't articulate it, and all you have to say is I'm homeschooling, and we all are like, bless
preach
you.
It, right? But it is. It's all about just being flexible and knowing you can do hard things. And that's the beauty. That's what I love about the Red Bra Project and what you guys are doing, because women are incredible, right? I mean, we truly are. And I'm not saying men are not, because men are also. And I don't know what I would do without my husband. But what we are capable of as far as homeschooling, feeding the family, making candles, exercising, doing all the things, we were wired to make the world run, right? And so
yeah,
I just, if I could say anything to anyone right now, it is that don't lose hope. You got this, and just be flexible. And if you need to change something, change something. Like I needed to start making candles, and that's what fulfilled that void in me. And here I am now. So, search yourself, search your heart. And when you do, things do work out.
And Heather, listening to you tell your story, and we're just going to have the shining light keep blinking on us throughout this episode. So, it's going with the whole candle and shine your light thing. So we're just going to roll with it.
There we go.
But to hear you tell parts of your story and just about you and Johnny choosing to focus on the good stuff and come together during those extremely difficult times. I mean, you guys could have made a different choice, and you also chose to be open. You chose to be open to think, candle making? I mean, some people could have ran the opposite direction in fear. Like, right. I've never made a candle in my life. Why is this popping in my head?
Right. Yeah, it is. It is. Being open is something that we are all about. I mean, that I think can put especially women in knots more than anything, feeling like you're alone, especially with social media and, the glamour that everything looks like. But in reality, most people are struggling with what you're struggling, whether it's financial stuff or marriage issues or issues with your kids or your health or your own body image. We're all struggling with that. And so when we can be open about it, that's where there's healing, right? Because you're not alone. And I think that, is just a huge key to being happy too, letting it out, admitting like, this really sucks right now, but I'm going to be okay because this girl went through it and she's okay.
Yes. Yes. Oh yeah. She just hit the nail on the head. Goosebumps.
Heather, you we always do questions beforehand, and so we get to know you a little bit in that sense. And you reference that your mom was kind of a huge influence in your life. Kind of was a huge influence in your life, and it sounds like she had that generosity that so many people showed you. Am I interpreting that correctly from what you wrote?
Yes. If I could be like anyone in the world, it's that woman. She is my best. She's my person. My mom is the most beautiful, incredible light that I have ever seen. And she is a huge reason that I got through what I got through because she passed down that positivity to me. One thing that we always say to each other, because, we'll call each other when we're having bad days. So sometimes I encourage her, sometimes she encourages me. But during that time, I'd call her bawling, everything's falling apart, Mom. What are we doing? And she would always come back to make the choice, Heather. You can either sit down and be a victim, or you can stand up and be victorious. The outcome is totally on you. And just remember, you're a strong country woman. And that is something that stuck after she started saying that to me, because the story there is that I'm sorry, I'm getting a phone call. Decline. The backstory there is that our family, there's a lot of farmers in our family. And so we come from women that were in the South farming, picking cotton in cotton fields, coming across on the wagon train, all that stuff. And we had a deep talk one time about who we are in our family. And really, just about all of us here in America can relate, whether it's a wagon train or being an immigrant from another country, or, the strength of generations is really beautiful whenever you take a minute to think about it. And so we always say that to each other. You're a strong country woman, and their blood runs through your veins. So if they can do it, you can do it. And but she's amazing. She a little bit, I know that this is mostly about Sweet and Wild Farms, but she has influenced me so much. I just gotta tell a little bit about her story. She suffered 2 strokes. The last one was October 2018, and I'm sorry, my dog's barking. And it was debilitating. The doctors told her she wouldn't come back from it. Pretty much, she lost eyesight. She couldn't walk. And she never lost faith. She never lost her positivity. And sure enough, she got her healing. Her doctors told her she's an absolute miracle. And so she just does everything she can to share that hope and that light. And we're pretty much on the same team when it comes to shedding light on people when it comes to coming to hard times, because we've been through some pretty big doozies. But staying positive and believing and not losing your faith and hope, it comes out in the end every time.
Wow.
Right?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Hi, Mom. We're so glad, Heather's mom. We're so glad that you're doing so well, and you're such a beacon of strength for her. And thank you for sharing that. We love hearing the generational shares and, lifting up other women from our guests who have impacted our guests. So.
Yeah. And she would totally have you ladies over for a cup of coffee and make you a very delicious meal, I'm sure.
Well, we would love that. And I feel like this is just one big, if you ever felt like you wanted to give a huge virtual hug, geez, right? This episode is 100% where our hearts are at right now. That's for sure.
I just think you're so timely right now, Heather. I think there are a lot of people that are out of work right now, or whatever is going on because of COVID. And I think that hopefully they watch and they see that if they persevere and they stay strong, that resiliency will bring them out on the other side. And you are proof that good, even better things can come than from what you had before. And it's not getting caught up. You said, it was just stuff. And I think that that's so important to focus on, that you can rebuild when you have each other still around you. And yeah, I think that hopefully people that are watching and whoever we share this out to, you just continue to be that ray of light, that candle light, whatever. I can't see the light that you guys are seeing. I literally can't see you at all, but you say I'm there. And, but I think, when I went through my divorce, I remember my attorney kept saying, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I listened to your story, and that's what I keep hearing is like, you followed that light. You made sure that there was hope at the other side.
Right.
Yeah. And I love part of your process and your story, Heather, for you and Johnny, you literally do put so much heart and soul and passion into your company. And the candle making business. And I actually wrote it down off of your website, which for all of our viewers, you've got to go to their website and look at their story and look at their process, because you can go and you can read it and you just feel so connected. And on your website, you had written, they often say their candles are made with love. And if you could witness the process so full of laughter, singing, focus, care, and affection, you would have to agree. And I think that just shines through, and your candles do hold a beautiful light for others in the darkness. And I can't, your story is just so remarkable, the way it's come together.
Thank you. Yes, it is a family affair. There have been days recently where I'm pouring those candles with the baby on my hip because it's been very busy, and my girls come in, they twist on the lids and they put the warning stickers on there, and it holds true to them too, because they know the story, they live the story. And so they identify with the resilience that our candles represent because they feel it, right? And so knowing that they're a part of it has, it's just, I feel like our home is bursting at the seams with excitement and love and joy right now, because we've picked up that beautiful gift of candle making again.
Yes. Go ahead, Shauna.
Oh, no, I was going to ask if she had any idea what her red bra moment might be. And if, I think you're familiar, but in case you're not, we look at red bra moments as those moments that, and you've shown so many, but when we have that superpower or that confidence that can be seen or not seen, do you have a moment that you would say was your red bra moment?
Yes, I think I've had several with just with just what we've been through. But I'll tell you, my most recent one was definitely relaunching Sweet and Wild Farms. Like I said, my husband's law enforcement, and so he was not able to help this time. So before, it was very much he and I together. This time it was all me. So I rebranded, I did new logos, a whole branding outlook on what I wanted to look like, the message that we really wanted to drive home. And I made my orders, I set up the studio, I did it all. And I think the moment of waking up the next morning after launching, and within 48 hours, so it was the next morning after that, we had sold out. I had sold out of everything that I had done. And just messages of, we're so excited, we can't wait to get it in the mail, these look amazing, I can't wait. And it was that moment of the red bra, it was underneath, it was supportive, I felt so confident and so like this was all my doing, and I nailed it. And so I'm very excited of where we're going, and I definitely feel that momentum of those first couple days. We're still rolling hot from that. So yeah, that was my most recent one. It's been pretty great.
That is so awesome. Congratulations. We love it. Love it. Yes. Gosh, what an awesome story. We are 100% behind your story and sharing it, and trying to reach as many people as we can. Just, talking about motherhood and being a wife and having an unexpected, life change happen that, you responded to, and then building your own company back up again and relaunching. I mean, oh my gosh, you are incredible. And so is your family. And thank you for sharing your story with all of us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit, because I know that Mother's Day is around the corner, and talking about moms and all kinds of stuff. Tell us a little bit about your candles and kind of your scents, and then your Mother's Day special.
Yes. Okay. So a big part of our candles, I have it all on our website. Like Renee said, it's sweetandwildfarms.com. But also, you know, when we started before, we went in kind of blind, not knowing much about candle making. I took a class, but it wasn't super detailed. So we just made orders of what looked good and what sounded good, and made those. And the more we researched, we found that there are a lot of candles out there that are extremely toxic, right? So a lot of people are like, and even myself included, before I made candles, I would have looked at my website and said, $18 for a candle? No way I can go get one for $5 at Walmart. But the truth is that those candles are made from paraffin, and paraffin is a byproduct of the oil company. So it's a very, very not pure substance. It has a lot of toxins. So that's what it's being. It's a very cheap product that, yes, it will hold a flame and it will carry a fragrance oil, but burning it inside your home is incredibly harmful for you. That's why some people say, oh, I can't use candles because they give me a headache or they trigger my asthma. Well, that's the paraffin that is being released into the air that you're breathing. And so we made it our goal to find a wax that is 100% soy. There's a lot out there that say soy. And yes, they do have soy in it, but they're blended with paraffin to, you know, get the cost break and whatnot. So we are pure to the soul, 100% soy. And it is also very important to us to outsource everything to the United States. So everything we make is, from our jars to our labels to our lids, we are very passionate about supporting our country. So everything is made in the USA. We also do phthalate-free fragrance oils, which that is another one. There's been studies done on phthalates that's actually a cancer-causing product. So there are certain types. It's kind of unclear. I'm still doing research on it, but just the fact that there are some out there, we said we're only doing phthalate-free. We want to have a product that we are comfortable burning, and I'm burning it right now, actually. Got my Mother's Day candle going. Yes, I did make myself my own Mother's Day candle.
As you could.
But, as you should.
Gotta treat yourself, right?
Right.
So yes, everything, we want to make a candle that will burn in our home and for our kids to breathe in what it's emitting and not be afraid. And so everything that we make is pure and of the highest quality. So that's why it does cost more, because it costs us a lot more to get those pure products. But you get what you pay for. And they also last a lot longer. So you can look on my testimonials on my Instagram page, and you can see people saying, I've burned this candle, you know, they're 8-ounce jars. I've burned this candle 10 hours yesterday and 8 hours today, and it's barely moved because it is such a pure wax. And so it doesn't just, you know, burn up like paraffin does. So it lasts a lot longer. So it really, you truly get a very good product. Our fragrances, you know, at first we did kind of basic, you know, vanilla and, you know, kind of very basic ones. But when I rebranded, I wanted luxury. I wanted something that I felt special with if I was going to burn it, and I wanted to provide that to somebody else. So we have a little bit more high end. We still have some kind of bakery scents. Like I have vanilla bean and blueberry cobbler, and our bestseller is creme brulee. That one we will never get rid of because we have like a cult following for the creme brulee. I have people post or email me that say creme brulee all day. You know, it's pretty funny. But we do have some higher end, like my Relax candle. You know, they're infused with essential oils too. So you have eucalyptus oil, Moroccan mint, all sorts of stuff. So we really tried to find something for everyone. But yeah, so everything is really high quality. And I know you mentioned the Mother's Day. With it coming up, I am doing a Mother's Day giveaway. So every person that orders a Mother's Day candle, I'm throwing in a wax melt for free. So my tagline is, you know, order something for your mama and get some for yourself too. So, you know, and if you go online, it just automatically gets added to your shopping cart and we'll send it out in your packaging. So the one we're doing right now. And a little behind the scenes, nobody else knows this, but I'll share it with you guys and all your viewers. My next thing that I'm going to be hopefully doing in the next couple months, we are going to be doing a hero line. Law enforcement obviously is a huge part of our family, and with everything going on in the world and the light that we want to share, I'm going to be making a thin blue line candle for our law enforcement officers. We're going to do a thin red line for our firefighters, our health workers, military. We're also military. My husband's National Guard. We've been deployed and done the whole thing. We know what it is. And so we want to really not just metaphorically share the light, but put it on there so nobody can question what we're trying to show is that we honor those people. And so that is, I'm trying to find some awesome vessels to put them in and some new labeling, and I'm researching some fragrances and stuff, but that should be the next big announcement on Sweet Wild Farms.
That is so exciting. We love Red Bra First over here.
Yes, you're the first.
Oh, yay. That's awesome. And what a thoughtful gift too.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Thank you so much again, Heather. Your story is incredible. We love learning. I mean, I learned a lot about candles tonight that I wasn't aware of, and I feel like I really should have been aware of this many years ago.
I had no idea until I was making it, so you're not alone.
Yeah, no, that's great information, especially, keeping toxins low and, just being wise about your choices. So thank you so much. We cannot wait to share your story and keep following you. You guys are hitting it out of the park just with your love and your lights and sharing with others and just making the world a better place. So thank you.
Thank you.
We end every episode with a quote. And so the quote that we chose for you tonight was, "When the dark clouds of doubt, anger, or worry begin to move upon you, steady yourself in the knowledge that in time the storm will pass." Brant McGill. And, it can be really tough. As many of us know personally, and just listening to each other's story, we may think about how could you ever steady yourself in something like that? But it's incredible when you do, and the storm will pass, and you are a shining light of that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Heather, I know you mentioned your website, but can you tell all of our viewers where they can find you else online, Instagram, Facebook?
Yeah, so sweetandwildfarms.com is our main website, but I'm also under in Instagram at Sweet and Wild Farms, and also on Facebook at Sweet and Wild Farms.
Awesome.
And we will link all of that up on our page as well. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, Renee.
It's all right. I think you're flying blind over there, just not seeing anyone on the screen. So you're doing...
I don't know what's happening, but it's good. I'm glad you can see me.
We can. Go ahead. I'm going to say goodbye. You can do the wrap.
Perfect. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. I wish we had a whole other hour to continue to learn about Heather. I think there's so much more that we didn't get to tonight, but continue to follow her at all those wonderful places that she just told you and on social media. We will link her information on our page at theredbraproject.com on Instagram. I always add the .com. At the Red Bra Project on Instagram, or theredbraproject.com to check out her blog next week. And just thank you so much. Continue to stay safe. We're thinking about all of you during these difficult times. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you on our next episode.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.